Prevention of Adolescent Alcohol Abuse, a presentation by Tim Lyons. The risks. Alcohol abuse and alcohol dependence can have devastating effects on physical, cognitive, and socio-emotional health. According to the CDC, almost 90,000 deaths per year are caused by alcohol abuse and alcohol dependence. It shortens the lives of its victims by nearly 30 years. It is the leading cause of injuries, violence, poisoning, and risky sexual behaviors, chronic illnesses. It also is associated with chronic illnesses, learning, memory, mental health, and social problems. The risks are particularly high for teens. Over 30% of teens, when surveyed, say that they drank in the past 30 days. 17% say that they participated in binge drinking. There's known to be a strong correlation between teen alcohol abuse and school, social, legal, and health problems. The risk of suicide and of future addiction is much higher for teens who abuse alcohol. For this reason, it's critical to invest in preventative measures. The goal of my research in this presentation today is to identify prevention measures for helping teens to not abuse alcohol. In particular, my personal goal is to help my children to make smarter decisions regarding alcohol, and as a professional working in healthcare, I hope to help adolescent patients and their parents. So, when is the wrong age to start drinking? According to the National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, there's a strong correlation between the age that drinking starts and future addiction. Children who start drinking at ages 14 or younger have a 40% risk of alcohol dependence during their lifetime. If they wait until they're 20 years old or later, that risk drops to 10%. For children who start to drink at ages 14 or less, they then have an 11% of chance of alcohol abuse. That drops to 4% if they can wait until they're 20 or older. One of the reasons that alcohol abuse for adolescents is so dangerous is because this is a critical period in brain development. Adolescence is the period when we see a thickening of the corpus callosum, which aids in information processing. The prefrontal cortex is continuing to develop, and that's where reasoning and self-control develop. The limbic system is completing its development, and that's where emotions and emotional maturity are located in the brain. Teens who abuse alcohol risk experiencing defects in this brain development. They may experience small brains, defects in white matter, and cognitive impairments. If we look at adolescent development and alcohol abuse from a theoretical point of view, Erikson's theory is very helpful. Erikson said that identity versus identity confusion was the defining conflict of adolescence. During this time period, individuals are defining who they are and what they stand for. James Marcia further refined Erikson's theory with 4 identity statuses. If we look at alcohol abuse within the context of Erikson and Marcia, we can see that teens who abuse alcohol risk missing out on this really important phase of identity exploration that can lead to the healthy identity achievement that they need for later phases in life. So what can be done to help teens to not abuse alcohol? As I said, my focus here is on the prevention of drinking, not on intervening with kids who've already started drinking. Parents greatly influence. So the first method I want to look at is parent-based intervention. Parents greatly influence their children's drinking patterns, both in a positive and a negative way, right? So they can be a positive role model and they can have a parenting style that is supportive, or they can be negative role models and they can have parenting styles which do not help their children to stand up to the temptations of alcohol abuse. Um, Family systems theory is a theory that says the family is the center of child development. So if you see that a child is having trouble, you look at their family for the source of that problem. And if you see a child that's healthy, you look at their family to figure out what's going on in the family that is contributing to their health. One of the things that contributes to healthy adolescent and to a healthy attitude towards alcohol use is an authoritative parenting style. Authoritative parents engage teens in supportive conversations about alcohol. They prohibit underage drinking. Okay, this is a very important point that came up in the research, that parents who simply draw the line and say it is unacceptable for you to drink when you're underage are more successful in having teens who don't drink than parents who might be a little more lenient and say make an exception for a wedding or for some special family event. Authoritative parents also monitor how their teens spend their free time. They know where their kids are right now. They know who they're hanging out and who their friends are. And they also wait up for them. So on Friday night, the parents are not going to go to bed until their kids return home. This has been shown to be very effective in curbing underage drinking. The research that I refer to in my paper, in particular that by Wurdak and Kutcha, shows that parents who have an authoritative, parents even who learn to develop a more authoritative parenting style, see a corresponding drop in their children's use of alcohol. In addition to parents, peers also play a very strong role in influencing whether an adolescent drinks, right? And that influence can be positive or it can be negative. Cooperative learning is an approach to prevention that focuses on improving teens' peer relationships, in particular through group activities in school, like reciprocal teaching and peer tutoring. These group activities attempt to foster positive interdependence, which means teaching the children not to compete with one another, but to actually support one another in activities. The goal of CL is to break up what are called deviant peer clusters and to encourage or cultivate healthier friendships. So, looking at overall, what I found in my research are the following things. One, preventing teen alcohol abuse should be a priority, right? The biological, cognitive, and socio-emotional risks of alcohol abuse among adolescents are simply staggering. And it's easier to prevent drinking during adolescence than it will be to try and rehabilitate someone with an alcohol abuse problem later in life. The greatest responsibility and the greatest opportunity for prevention lies with parents. Family is the foundation of our children's health. I truly believe in that theory, the family systems theory that came up in this research. If there's a problem with a teen, the first place to go to look for the cause is the family. Behaviors and attitudes of adolescents are directly tied to their parents and relationships with their parents. And the good news is that parenting style can be learned and improved, and uh, prevention can be learned, and it can be very effective in helping teens to not drink before they reach an age of maturity, and to therefore avoid the negative risks and consequences of underage drinking. Thank you very much.